Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So, I have a new backdrop, in case you guys notice the books in the back. I know I always am admiring the books in the back of other people's videos. It's a little harder to see in the dark, but they are different, and the shape of the shelf is different. The shelf that I was using behind me before is actually going to be dismantled and all the books moved off of it so that I can start moving them up to the new place. And the ones behind me are eventually going to be theoretically the only books in this apartment. And in a couple weeks, I and the rest of these books will also no longer be in this apartment. At least that is the plan. So I actually tried recording in this spot earlier today, and I liked the video pretty well, except that it went really long because I had way too many tangents. And the way I speak makes it awfully hard to edit without weird jumps. So unless I try and retrain myself to use a different speaking style, I'm really gonna have to just either script my videos. I don't see that happening anytime soon, or try this again. And since I record most of my videos at night when the street noise is lower, I wanted to try this anyway, just to see what the lighting looks like in this setting. And actually where I'm sitting will probably not be where I end up for future videos, because if it rains, I'm in the part of the room now where it drips when the ceiling leaks. So ultimately this is gonna not be the spot, but I have to move that other shelf out of the way. So lots of changes, a lot of them behind the scenes. I also have a new kitten. He's a cute little black and white kitten named Manuel, or Manny for short. Little black and white tux with a little teeny tiny white spot just on the lower part of his chin. He's a very cute kitty and very soft, and I'm hoping that we'll get him into a rescue soon because he doesn't have ringworm, and he's already been sort of socialized where he was before we caught him, so hopefully he will be totally adoptable and able to get in somewhere very soon. And I'm especially hoping that he's only here because he was driving my friend absolutely nuts. He wouldn't stop meowing at her at the top of his lungs. He's seeming a little bit happier. You can't actually hear him meowing every 5 seconds because he seems to like having other cats around, and he's in a nice warm spot, and I don't know, he just likes where he's at a little bit better. But he still does meow at the top of his lungs every once in a while, and he has really good lungs. So I acquired some books. So the first part of this video is a book haul of sorts. I guess more than of sorts. It is a book haul. Yeah, my first book haul. Ooh. So I acquired some books. I went to the library today and got an ILL book that I hadn't known had come in. I was actually just showing up to see what books were on the free shelf. And the librarian met me at the door. I was like, hey, I was just going to call you. So I love my librarians. Alright, so once again, the cover has this thing on it. The back cover is pretty. This one is Thousand Cranes by Yasunari Kawabata. In translation, of course, in English. And this one I've read the first 3 pages of because it wasn't clear from any of the communications that I had seen whether we had a shift at the food pantry or not. Turns out we didn't, but that it was canceled and that there had been one. It's just nobody told us when it was canceled. So the library being a block away from our food pantry, I went by the library, stopped by the pantry on the way back, and just hung out there and read a couple pages while I was making sure that we didn't have a shift after all. So this one's pretty good so far. Very sort of tranquil. It's definitely the sort of book to read when feeling stressed from following the war too much. So I think this would be a good one to read right now. And it starts out with 2 pages on the tea ceremonies in Japan, which I find interesting because I do have a small collection of unglazed Chinese teapots. So I have a similar sort of little ritual that I've been building up with my teapots. Very modern, and it involves a microwave. Yeah, I like keeping my teapots happy, but I am not willing to reorder my kitchen entirely to be able to do the traditional form. I definitely don't do charcoal. Like this book talks about charcoal and about having a spot to put the discarded water, and like, there's details in this ceremony that there's no way my ceremony incorporates. But I do have a growing little tradition that I do with my teapots. I need to do that again, actually, because if you've seen the Sherlock episode involving the pretty Oriental lady who's doing demonstrations of teapots at the British Museum, and she ends up dead, and it was her brother who kills her, and there's the black lotuses by all the bodies. In that episode, she's showing how they season the teapots to keep them happy, and that is a thing. And my teapots definitely look better when I've been using them. I haven't used them in a while because of all the chaos going on here. So that should be something I do in the next couple days, is just, heat up some hot water, put some tea bags. Oh, I know, tea bags, but I use Berry's Gold black tea, and just put a tea bag in, usually 2 teapots at once, put hot water in both of those, and let them steep in the teapot. And then when the tea is nice and brewed, then I pour some from teapot 1 on top of teapot 2, and some from teapot 2 on top of teapot 1, so they get the outside treated with tea. And then I pour some in my little cup and add milk and sugar. This is a hybrid ceremony. I'm sure anyone that does the more authentic ceremony is like, oh my gosh, what is she talking about? That's terrible. But I still do my black tea with milk and sugar, whole milk or cream. Anyway, now that I've thoroughly offended everyone that takes their traditional tea ceremonies very seriously, I will move on to the rest of my new books. Alright, so I've got MC Beaton, Death of a Dreamer. I don't know where this one falls in the series. I don't think I've read it yet, though. This is Hamish Macbeth. He's a policeman that's trying to stay a small town policeman in Scotland, and they keep trying to promote him. Poor guy is really trying not to get promoted, and he's really upset every time he has to go to the city for anything, because he really likes being in the rural, small town setting. But there's a surprising number of murders for the fact that he's in a small town. And so you get that Miss Marple effect that, yeah, it's a small town, but they have plenty of murder to keep them busy. The next couple I don't actually know much about. They just looked interesting. So if anybody knows anything about these books, they should let me know. This is Underground Airlines by Ben H. Winters. Pandemic by Scott Sigler. The Story Hour by Thrity Umrigar. Young China by Zach Dychtwald. Yes, Dychtwald. And Radiance of Tomorrow by Ishmael, Beah. So those are my new books, and I will be putting together a TBR for November very soon. I'm also putting together the stack of TBR for Halloween. and I will be posting that tonight. So I'm going to keep this video under 15 minutes. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to shut up very soon, because I'm also going to be posting my Halloween TBR. Since I don't have any food pantry shifts this weekend, I have extra reading time. I might as well just do my Halloween stack tonight, and then it'll be Halloween books from now until the end of Halloween. And of course, anything that was already in a TBR for this month is technically still active. So if I really don't want to read the books on my Halloween TBR, I am allowed to read other books, including and especially the ones that I've already started. So my finished books at the end of October may include some that are not in this new stack that I'm going to be posting tonight, but that are still ones that I've finished in the last 4 days. So, check out my Halloween TBR video in a few minutes to an hour or so, probably about an hour. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye, guys!